Hello everyone, my name is Kristen Gomez. I will be reviewing Chapter 11 for this assignment. In this assignment, I focused in on an article over Patagonia, which is an outdoor apparel and gear shop. They have a strong leadership strategy, is what I discovered in the article, which was an interview with someone for their vice president from Human Resources Division. So, Chapter 11 focuses on leadership strategy. One of the first things that it talks about is leadership structure. So, structure for Patagonia is a little unorthodox. Most organizations have a very clear set path for employees to talk to one another. If you have an idea or an issue, you go directly from your supervisor, manager, and up the line. And while Patagonia does have a structure that has a CEO and other supervisor or managerial positions, they don't feel the need to create barriers between discussions for those issues and ideas. So somebody who's on the floor every day working with the product can talk directly to the CEO if they have an issue or if they have an idea of some improvements that can be made to the product. Which is pretty great and not something that you normally find in every organization. Even in my experience, they have a very clear, defined set of practice and procedures that they'd like you to follow. So part of that structural organization actually leads into some of their empowerment of their employees. Then they take it upon themselves to make better change towards the organization's goal, whatever that may be at the time. But this does sometimes create error because when we give everybody free rein to contribute, then sometimes there's a diffusion of responsibility, and we can't say any one person took responsibility to create this or to make a goal towards this issue or resolution because it is now spread out too thin. So that is one issue of that aspect, but their empowerment of their employees actually leads to a better learning and mentorship for their employees. Part of that process is also breaking down the barriers that are created with performance appraisals. While these are great for employees to sit down with managers and talk about performance measures that they need to meet, sometimes it creates added stress to the employee. Taking that away provides a better relationship for mentorship and allows the employee to grow and contribute to the organization's overall knowledge base. Another aspect of the leadership relationship that was discussed in this chapter is the leader's roles and relationships with the employees, and part of that is their emotional intelligence. So some of that is introspective, and I didn't get as much from that article about the CEO or anybody in the leadership positions awareness of their self, but I did get a lot about their awareness of their employees and their needs. Being an outdoor apparel company, they want to motivate their employees to feel connected to the product. They do allow for flex time, so employees can schedule trips for kayaking and outdoor sports and activities to better connect them with the brand. So that's something interesting that not every company does, although they do have activities that may tie into their brand and what they're producing. Another thing they like to do to connect to their employees and motivate them and to empathize with them and to socialize is to create on-site daycare for employees' children. It's one less worry to have on your mind. And they also provide paid paternity leave, something that not every company provides at this stage, but possibly will be gearing more towards. And so that shows that they're working on a work-life balance for their employees, not only with the trips that they provide, but also with the care that they provide for the family. Less stress means that you can think more creatively and you can add more knowledge to the company. One of the last things that less of the direction of the company that the leadership provides and the emotional aspects of the relationship is just the ethical standards for the company. Patagonia is known for their high ethical standards. One of the things that they've enacted for themselves is to create a supplier workplace code of conduct. This means that they provide this conduct when considering doing business with another organization to produce their products. And if the organization does not meet these standards, then they won't do business. And it centers around the treatment of the workers for factory workers or anything like that, covering safe work environment, safe procedures. So if an organization doesn't meet these standards, then they won't do business with them. And another thing they like to do is make sure that their product is having the least amount of impact as possible. They are aware that some things environmentally may be affected, so they try to reduce their impact as much as possible, and they have an environmental impacts program so that they're constantly monitoring it. And all of this ties back into leadership because this is something they put in place to show that they want to be ethically driven, and it starts at the top of the organization to implement these programs and show employees what will and will not be tolerated. So overall, Patagonia has a strong relationship with its employees in many different ways, and the ones within the organization and the ones closely related to it through production. They're doing pretty well in their leadership relationship, I believe, personally, after reviewing the article. They have strong ties with their employees. They're willing to make them learn. They're providing the mentorship, and they're providing the standards and procedures that will allow them to grow.